Rock and Roll Hall of Fame artist with the hip hop band Public Enemy. Many of you have heard of Public Enemy, right? Unfortunately, most of you only know it because Flavor Flav had a TV.
Oh, damn. I'm going to tell him too.
And he's told like three that stayed and without going too much further, I'll let Griff explain to you why he's standing before you today and setting up his device. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Death Star right there. I don't know.
Yeah, I got to do this, man.
It's like Darth Vader right here. Yeah. He's setting up his device, and he's going to take the reins and speak to you now. And I'm going to step out the way and, do my thing over here.
All right. Let's give Omari a round of applause. Well, greetings. How's everyone doing? And the rest of y'all? Everybody's okay? All right.
Let's make sure we put our phones on. I'm speaking to myself as we say, let's put our phones on the side.
So I'd like to greet everyone. This is the Black History Mobile Museum, Black History 101 Mobile Museum. I'm going to go over a bit of history about the museum, but how many people have actually walked through? Okay, it's a beautiful thing. So I'm sure you've kind of have some questions on your mind as to the whole nature of why would there even be a mobile museum. Most times people ask us, where's your base? Where's this stuff stored at? Well, it's actually stored in Khalid El Hakim's suitcase because it's actually a mobile museum. And we came up with this whole concept of a lot of young people not going to the museum, so we decided to bring the museum to young people, to meet people, young people halfway where they are. Who's the youngest person in the room? Thank you, me and you both. Yeah, I'm about 58, so I know you. How old are you? Yeah, you're probably about the youngest one in the room, 23. That's a beautiful thing. 19, so he got you beat by a couple of years. Okay. When's the last time you've been to a museum? When's the last time you've been to a museum? A field trip in elementary school. You see what I'm talking about? You see why now we have to have a mobile museum to bring, come on in, man. Oh, okay. You see why now we have to bring the museum and the artifacts and the pieces to young people? Simply because he just came and messed the whole program up. That's not his work, sir. You left me hanging. I'm trying to get the PG. It's the HDMI. HDMI right there. Perfect. Thank you. Really appreciate it. All right. Yeah, okay. Anyway, what was I saying?
Bringing it to us.
Thank you. It's one of those situations where when you walk through the museum, did you ever say to yourself, well, I wonder where they got this piece from? And I had that same question, and I actually wear that piece around my neck here. And this piece is called the Manila. We're going to talk about it in a few minutes. Now, listen, I'm kind of long-winded, so if you got a class or something, or you get bored, you need to kind of leave and just wave, give me a salute, whatever. But I'm going to be about 55 minutes. Is that cool with everyone? All right, cool. Yeah, we got to be thankful. It's what, 55 degrees outside? Yeah, Michigan is shut down. It's like 90 degrees below zero, man. So we're lucky. Anyway, this piece is called the Manila. This piece can actually buy this 19-year-old right here, because this was a form of currency at one particular time. And they used to bring a pocket full of these to the slave auction, all right, in order to purchase black people. And I often tell young people, his age, there shouldn't be a price on any human being for any amount of money, with any complexion, all right? If we can understand the dynamics of that, you shouldn't be able to put a price on a human being. But we hear it on the news every other month. So-and-so died and he was worth, you know, X, Y, and Z. How could you put a price on an individual? All right. But I also have a deeper understanding of what my dad gave me as a Blackfoot Native American. You shouldn't be able to own the land. It's not ours to own. You don't own the airspace. You follow what I'm saying? It's deeper than that. But anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So I'm going to dive into the material that I have prepared. And if it's just that one question or that one piece you have a question about, I'm going to try to cover about 5 different sections to this particular exhibit that we laid out today. And I've yet to give it a name. Excuse me, Omari.
Yes.
I've been out with the exhibit, the signature series. Yeah. I'm trying to name the different exhibits that we've taken out over the last 15 years since I've been traveling.
3 M's.
Yeah, I've added 5 more M's to that. But what are the 3 M's?
Martin, Malcolm.
Martin.
No, Malcolm. Martin, Motown, and Michael.
Martin, Motown, Michael,
yeah.
Muhammad. Give me some more M's. Madonna. Give me some more M's. Mandela. Who else? Muhammad. Money, Madness, Music, Mayhem, and a mother. Give me some more M's. So, yeah, we could have stretched that museum out. But anyway, 7,000 pieces in this particular exhibit. Today, we only have 150, probably about 190. All right, so let's dive into this. And you have any questions, let's kind of hold it to the end. Normally, I would go to a situation where we can dialogue as we're going along, but white people, listen to me. Black people, when you open up the floor like that, you get a whole lecture. You understand? They got to tell you where they from, where they got their sweater from. No, we're not going to do that today. All right? Seriously, we're going to cut it short. Let me get through this, and then we can. Why some of y'all sitting there like y'all don't know what I'm talking about? But you know daggone well what I'm talking about. I'm from a group called Public Enemy, not Public Friend. Y'all know y'all got black friends. They took one kung fu class and swear they Chinese, right or wrong. Come on now, talk to me. Y'all want to admit it, but it's all right. We're going to work on that in a minute. Omari gave me a beautiful introduction, but he didn't let y'all know I'm very transparent. I'm a realist. It is what it is. My job is not, for this next 50 minutes, is to sit here and watch you remain comfortable in our ignorance. However you define me. I'm not calling you ignorance. I'm talking to the empty people that would have filled these seats today, but they not here. You understand what I'm saying? So we're not going to remain comfortable in that. I'm going to move you. Jerusalem Slim, what's good, bro? You all right? All right. Came black. All right. So I want to be able to move you out of your comfort zone. I know there's an institution of higher learning. Where are we at? Portland Community College. Yep. Which campus?
Cascade.
Cascade. All right. What's different about Cascade than the one we was at yesterday? What was yesterday, Omari?
Southeast.
Southeast. And the one before that? Sylvania. What's different about this one? Man, y'all gotta have pride. Somebody been like, yo, bro. Thank you, man. Somebody stand up and rep your campus.
This is the original campus.
Yeah, she said it's the original. She did the remix. She's like, the original campus. All right, cool. So let's get started. Let me see. Khalid El Hakim, of course, this is my website, professorgriff.me. If you have any information, you can contact me there. All the information is there, but it's the Black History 101 Mobile Museum. Hold up. Did they give me some volume? I think. All right, they gave me some volume. That's always a beautiful thing. I'm not sure. Yo, with the, Omari went to school at Ferris with Khalid, so he's been around a lot longer than I have. I met Khalid at a lecture I was doing called 911 is a Joke, the Unholy War on Terrorism. And back in early 2000, and Khalid was in the audience. Mr. Brother Eric Perry brought me into Detroit. And he got a wild story to tell you all about that, but it's ridiculous. So I met Khalid, he was in the audience, he asked me, he told me what he was doing and explained what he was doing. And, you know, I came out on my own dime to come back and meet with him just to see what he was doing. And from that day forward, I've been with him for 15 years. It's one of those kind of situations where your life's work cross paths with someone else. And even with that, doing that work with Khalid, Omari, Jessica, Dumini, Tasleen, and a few other people, it led me to develop the mindset of the like minds mindset. If we're like minds, of course you dress better than I do. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm saying there's certain things when we get together, we don't even have to discuss. I think that dude jinxed us, man, for real. No, I'm dead serious. He jinxed us. I'm gonna go kick the door. I'm stepping there like this with my remote, bro. What you do?
Because I don't like that after a certain length of time.
Oh, I thought it was just me. No, okay. Thank you. This whole idea of like minds. Sir, I didn't even go to the next slide. It just did it on its own. Is that what this does? All right. See, this is the original campus, I can tell. Y'all got something going on. There's certain things that we don't even have to discuss. Regurgitating old themes and having the same argument that our grandfather's father had. All right, we end up reinventing the wheel. You understand what I'm saying? And at the same time, the 19-year-old is watching two 40, 50-year-olds do this. And you know what he says in the back of his mind? I don't want nothing to do with that. You understand what I'm saying? Two bitter dudes arguing about what happened 10,000 years ago. Says, I don't want absolutely nothing to do with it. And it kind of stifles and impedes his growth and his understanding of the totality of what we have to deal with. Moving towards being free. All right? And I mean free in every aspect of the word. Where you want to eat, how you want to comb your hair, what you want to wear, how you want to speak. All right? Free. And then that times 10. All right? Carving out our own destiny and controlling it and deciding what is it that we collectively and individually want to do with our lives. And that's real. So help me out, sis. Now I'm clicking the button. There ain't nothing happening. All right. I see this is going to be a struggle. Nothing. See, they're having fun over there. There's obviously something going on. There's another screen over there or something.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing. All right, let's do it the old way. We're gonna take it out, plug it back in, see if it'll recognize it. Yeah, they're having too much fun over there.
You have it on the USB port?
HDMI.
Oh, got it. Oh, it worked for a second.
Oh.
Literally, it was up. Like 2 seconds before it was.
Like magic.
Ah, there he is. No, we can't get it. Oh, you're fixing it. What's your name? Huh? Griff. Right.
See it never.
Oh, I got you.
They're getting our presentation.
Right. We should put up something real critical like Flavor Flav on this. But, oh man, I was about to go in without it. That's me. No, that's me. That's me. I was trying to find a slide of Khaled on his.
Hannah School is apologizing to a parent after a 5th grade lesson on slavery, a lesson that forced an African-American student to the mock auction block so white students could bid on him. 10 Investigates Paul Aker joins us with the school's response. Paul?
That's right, Andrea. The school says only one parent was upset by this lesson, but that parent was really upset. And the student says he was humiliated by it. At 10 years old, Nico Burton loves his dog, but he's not so fond of social studies, where yesterday he got a painful lesson in American history.
I ended up being a slave.
Nico says his teacher at Gahanna's Chapelfield Elementary divided the class and made some students slaves. and others their masters.
At first, I didn't really care, but after people were like bidding on people, it kind of made me a little mad and stuff.
Nico says it got worse when the so-called masters were told to feel the students playing slaves to see if they were worth buying.
They got to look at in your mouth and feel like your legs and stuff to see if you were strong or stuff.
And people were doing that to you?
Yeah.
He felt degraded. He was hurt. Kids picked on him later.
Nico's mom, Anika, says she's astonished.
I feel like that was totally inappropriate. It was racist and degrading.
Gahanna Jefferson School District officials declined to comment on camera, but a spokeswoman claims this was part of a state-required curriculum. She tells 10 Investigates it was a one-time lesson, and in a statement she wrote, "As soon as the concern was brought to our attention, school officials acted promptly to speak with the parent. Then, while we were at Nico's house, his principal called. We overheard his apology.
I'm just shocked nobody has ever said anything about it.
While the family says the apology is nice, Nico says he's still waiting to hear one from his teacher.
And it was kind of mean, and she should have said sorry.
And we caught.
All right. Now, with that said, this is a few years ago. Now, what is it that we need to put in place today to offset this, to balance this out, to correct this particular thing that most of us, if we didn't know that this happened a few years ago, our minds would roll that back 50, 100 years ago. Am I right or wrong? Right. Okay. So what is it? All right. I'm not pointing at any individual or any individual group, but what is it in your mind and in your spirit, all right, that would move you to say, we need to put these things in place to prevent that from happening? All right. So these are the things we have to begin to start, hold on for a second, thinking about. All right. I brought two that was looking for another item off the, I don't know why I can't find it. There, excuse me, sir. Handsome brother. Can you hand me that 8-track? Sure can. Thank you. How'd you know what an 8-track was? How old are you, man? Huh? How old are you?
24.
You ever heard one of these?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, damn, bro. What are some of the things that are in use today that will ultimately be an artifact tomorrow and probably end up in a museum? See that? I see that look on your face, man. All right. He's quick to raise his hand. What are some of those things?
CDs.
A CD? You still playing a CD? They've been downloading stuff for a minute, bro. You kind of late on that. You need to go back to these. CDs, but you're absolutely correct. A CD. What else? Huh? Jerusalem Slim. The record players have been gone, bro. They're coming back. Wax is coming back. Yeah. What else?
VCRs.
VCRs. Thank you. The VCR is probably going to end up a relic somewhere in a museum. Your children's children, you're probably going to tell your children's children about the VCR. You understand what I'm saying? Who else? What are some of the things that we see every single day? A cell phone. Because a minute ago, we was on a payphone. And guess what happened back then? You had to remember phone numbers unless you had that little black book. No, you ain't have one. You're too young. You don't even know what a black book is. My man, you had one. I can tell that look on your face, man. You had an afro back then, right? It's a little black book. All right, got you. But anyway, these things were once in use. Now, once in use for good or once in use for evil? Talk to me. Do you know a gentleman by the name of Lester Maddox? Everyone have a $400 or $500 cell phone in your hand? You can pull it out anytime you want to. You can Google this gentleman's name. I got that because I was at a lecture one time and the brother would not get off his phone in the front row. I'm like, bro, that is very disrespectful. So I just tell people, take the phone out. Let's make it a part of the lecture. Look up Lester Maddox and plus I'm on YouTube live. All right, so Lester Maddox, all right? Black people that didn't want to adhere to the Jim Crow law. I believe he was the governor of Georgia. All right? They didn't want to adhere to the Jim Crow laws. Was beat with this. All right? Then he had the nerve to turn around, mass produce these, and sell them to raise money for his campaign. Now it's in a museum, yes.
He was just like, I'm gonna beat these people with it and then sell it to make money so I can continue running for public office.
Exactly. To make these now and put in the hands of those that they elect to office, i.e. Police officers, overseers, to give them to beat the people. All right? We're going to get to the 8-track in a minute, bro. Prior to that, we had the slave shackle. Now, I know some people mindset because you done binged watch YouTube clips and now you're a YouTube scholar and you claim that slavery never existed. Well, these were confiscated from the bottom of the ocean in a slave ship. All right? So, but the whole idea now of educating people about the whole idea of the slave shackle is a whole thing in and of itself. There are about 5 to 10 different shackles, this being one of them. Right now, on my, hold on for a second, on my, let me see if I can, on my key, when I'm coming home to my house and I take the key out of the door, close the door, lock it behind me, and I'm walking in the house, you hear the keys jingle. Wife already know that's husband. You understand what I'm saying? And that's a beautiful thing. But this concept works the same way. Negroes, we're going to be polite today. The house Negroes, they called them something else back then, all right? When they actually went to bed at night, they would put the shackles on them, and as you can hear inside, it rattles. That's to tell whether or not they're walking around the house while the slave master and the children are asleep. Are you following what I'm saying? Most cases now, and that's for the house Negro. Now, the field Negro is something totally different. If you got out of line, they would put it on your right wrist, all right, turn it upside down. Of course, it'd be a lot heavier. Take the chain, put another one on your ankle, and chain you to the point where you walked around like this the whole entire day picking cotton, dragging your bag with you. So for 12, 15 hours a day, you stayed like this your entire life. And even if you were a woman on your menses, pregnant or whatever, it didn't matter. You got out of line, they would cut a hole in the ground, place your belly in the hole, strap you down, and issue the punishment. And you still had to get up and pick a bale of cotton, which is probably about 100 pounds. All right? And now these are things that were in use at one particular time. All right, for evil purposes. All right? The 8-track. So we've came a long way from the 8-track. Even right now, I go to schools and talk to 14 to 15 years and olds, and they kind of no idea of what this is. No idea of what the cassette is. Are you following what I'm saying? So, so when we go and we start talking about simple, basic things that we readily understand, some dipping candy, a stick that you can dip in the candy and you can eat. Did you look at this real close?
Yeah, the black girl, she got watermelon. And the white girl got vanilla.
Exactly. Watermelon and vanilla flavor. So now on a subconscious level, all right, they're attacking you on a subconscious level. Did you see the blackface cream? And then when you look at this picture right here, I had a 13-year-old ask me, why are all the black people smiling like that? I says, no, ma'am. These are not black, these are white people in blackface. So this history needs to be taught, all right? And we need to speak truth to power and teach it exactly for what it is, all right? When we start sugarcoating it and hiding it in the middle of 19-syllable words, it becomes a problem, all right? We have to speak straight to what it is, all right? Real quick, if I could just get through this. Dr. John Henry Clark says, history is a clock that people use to tell their political and cultural time of day. It is a compass that they use to find themselves on the map of human geography. It tells them where they are, but most importantly, what they must be. Dr. John Henry Clark. All right. So what I need y'all to do for a moment is strap on your cultural seatbelt for a second. All right. And if you know about this next concept that I'm about to talk about, I need y'all to help me out. All right. because probably in about 30 minutes, my voice is going to get real raspy, and you think I'm talking at you, and I'm really not. I'm trying to pull something out of you that I know is laying dormant, and something on this table out of these 100, 200 pieces may move you. All right? This whole idea of what Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois gave us, talking about the whole idea of the problem of the 20th century, pardon me, is the problem of the color line. And he talked about the double self or the dual self. All right. Fast forwarding today, 2019, black people, mainly black women, and I've heard this and saw this for myself, this concept called code switching. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of it. That's a beautiful thing. What happens when we talk to me, somebody?
Everybody except for ourselves. We change, adapt to whatever, for everybody except for who we are.
Exactly. So can someone give me an example? Well, let me start. You want to give it?
I think I got a really good.
All right, an example.
Let's the simplest one, and I think the biggest one in our modern culture is Kanye West. When all of a sudden he went from this, this person who.
Oh wait, I gotta interrupt you. We can't use Kanye West. That's just a bad example. He's not, because he need to lay on somebody's couch. I'm sorry, we can't even use Kanye West. I'm sorry, sir. We'll talk about that later on. My phone number is 678-557-2919. Call me, bro. Yes.
It's like if you're at home and you're in a room with your family and friends, and then you go into an office workplace.
Thank you.
You're going to talk differently when you're with your family, friends, who you're comfortable with. You know them, they know you. And then you go to your workplace and it's like, how you doing? And it's a different
code switching. And it happens with black people all the time. All right? Jerusalem Slim, peace, man. You know why I call him Jerusalem Slim? That's what they used to call Jesus, man. Jerusalem Slim. So thank you, sir. So that happens all the time, simply because either you're trying to assimilate, all right, you're trying to blend in, you're trying to be part of the team. Now there's more sophisticated words for it, but nonetheless it's code switching. And this is something that we had to do for our survival. Your name is Shaliqua Williams. Any Shaliqua Williams out there? I apologize. You understand? You darker than 150,000 shades of midnight, which is beautiful. Your hair is so kinky, it curls up and it reaches for the sun, and the top of your head look like this. About 1,000 black power fists. You understand? Which is a beautiful thing. All right? You talking ghetto and hood as possible at home. Soon as you get to work, you click it on. You understand what I'm saying? And you sound like Ashley. Give me a white European last name. White people, come on, help me out. God, y'all leaving me hanging like a mug. Forbes is not an average white person's name. That's kind of, no. Smith. Smith. Ashley Smith. Okay, Ashley Smith. And that works. We have to do that as far as having to survive. History is best qualified and most research. If you know what was, you can better understand what is, so that we can better carve out a future for ourselves. The whole idea of the mindset of Public Enemy, all right? We received that information, all right, coming through our ancestors, all right? That cultural baton being passed down through leaders, Marcus Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, and other leaders that dare speak truth to power. All right. Once we got it in our hands, we put it in a language of hip hop, high infinite power healing our people. We can communicate not only with our people, but everyone that came into the culture. All right. Those who reject their ancestors will be rejected by their offspring. Dr. John Henry Clark. Chuck D says, I'd rather be hated for what I am than loved for what I am not. All right. So a message to the 19-year-old, you can't change the people around you, then change the people around you. Does that make sense? Okay. So we have to understand this particular dynamic. I'm going to skip over the whole Public Enemy history. When we talked about speaking truth to power, we put this right on the 12-inch cover so people can get it directly. Now, taste test. When was this picture taken? And what is this a picture of? Black people being lynched. Where?
Probably outside.
Mississippi?
Nope. We was in Indiana somewhere.
What?
Yeah.
Wilmington?
See, people think that this only happened in the South, but no, it didn't. You understand what I'm saying? But now, when you look in it, instead of at it, let's look in it now. Where's the trauma? Where's the generational trauma? Yes.
You have white people celebrating the fact that they just murdered 2 people in cold blood.
Right. So the trauma now is on both sides. Because if you look in the audience, there's some young people in the audience that then grew up and had children. All right? No one's born a racist. Am I right or wrong? Excuse me?
Birth of a nation.
Right, exactly. So the trauma is happening on both sides. When did any of the 2 groups have those classes after this period to correct that problem? Never happened. Dr. Joy Leary talks about in post-traumatic slavery syndrome. Never happened. So now we're left to work it out on our own, but people are afraid to come to the discussion, to the table, to have the discussion, to start bridging the gaps, filling in the blanks, the blind spots, in order to at least come to the table to have the discussion. I was having this talk, I think I was in Portland. Yeah, I was in Portland. I'll tell you, I'm not going to tell you what campus. You might go back and tell them. Anyway, it was crickets in the room, man. I'm like, where are we having the classes on Saturday morning or Sunday after church to have this discussion? Or are we waiting for the next incident, the next police shooting, or the next racist cop to do whatever? All right, in order to have discussion. And then when that happens, we have the discussion based on emotion instead of coming with the facts and coming with this concept that Michael Tsarian calls solution think. Everything that we put on the table is for the solution for the human family to move forward. All right? Meaning that if I talked about this today, almost like taking a rock and throwing in a pond and you see the ripple effect. 7 layers, 7 ripples out. All right? This information has to affect 7 generations down the road. And I need y'all to think about that. Everyone in the room that's an educator. Everything that comes out of your mouth, young people are listening and watching, knowing that you're affecting that person's children's children. And then we have to be mindful now of what we say to people. Am I right or wrong? Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad says, have you forgotten that once we were brought here, we were robbed of our names, robbed of our language, we lost our religion, culture, our God, and many of us, by the way we act, we even lost our minds. So we start to put out covers and images, all right, to make people look in it and think, all right? Talking about non-verbal communication, not to mention what was coming across in audible tones to affect your chakras and your energy centers. That's a whole nother story. All right. So when we came with this, most of my heroes don't appear on those stamps. It made people think. How many stamp collectors we have in here? Okay. When's the last time you collected a black stamp with a black person on it? Right. So we probably have a few now. Then we didn't. So I dug up a few and I'm like, okay, we're making some progress. But we talk about a stamp. But how many white families are having this conversation in the kitchen? Dinner table, in the car? No.
I mean, similar conversations, but not specifically on the race of the people who are on the stamps.
Yeah, you and I need to talk, bro. You got my phone number, right? How different would your education be if you went to school to create a job for yourself? See, once again now, black mom in the kitchen talking to Tay-Tay, Day-Day, Peanut, Twan and them. You understand what I'm saying? Go to school and get a good education so you can do what? Get a good job. All right? How different would it be if we went to school to learn how to create jobs for ourselves? All right? Ultimate ignorance is the rejection of something you know absolutely nothing about. How can you reject it and you don't know anything about it? Are you following? So any argument that you bring to the table, what did you do the research on before you start rejecting it So then once you start doing the research, we humble ourselves and then we come to the table to have the discussion, non-emotional. We can have the discussion based on facts, right or wrong. All right. That sounds smart to me. I mean, that sounds kind of like until the lions have the historians, until the lions have the historians, the tales of the hunt shall always glorify the hunter. All right. Can you imagine if in the hunt and you sat down and interviewed the lion instead of the hunter? What do you think the lion would say? I was minding my own damn business. Go ahead, I'm going to narrate this for you. Go ahead. I'm just walking through the jungle, doing whatever, minding my own business, eating a Twinkie and a tuna fish sandwich. And what happened?
All of a sudden,
wow. Exactly. And I find myself in somebody's living room, just my head now, hanging on somebody's wall. See, the lion would have a different story to tell than the hunter. Our story needs to be told to us by us. Everyone in this room have a story, am I right or wrong? That you remember sitting on your granddad or your grandmom's lap that told you that story that you will pass on to your children. That's uniquely yours. Right? But we have people sitting on the periphery, especially in hip hop. People sitting on the periphery of our culture that's telling our story. Not good. Man, sometimes I Google my name and the stuff that people say about me. I'm like, damn, I did that? Like, damn. It's critical. Our story needs to be told to us by us, man. When you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. He will find his proper place and he will stay in it. You do not need to send him to the back door. He will go without being told. And in fact, if there's no back door, he will protest until one is made for his use. His education demands it. What kind of education is he getting? What is the definition of education? You see, the root word to education is educare. It's a Latin word, a prefix meaning to draw out of. Education has never been something you put in a human. It's always something you pull out of the human. The creator, God, Jah, Allah, Ptah, whatever you call God, has deposited everything that you need right now to ultimately be your beautiful divine self. Guidance counselors, teachers, parents, uncles, aunties, support unit, church, whatever. They are designed to guide you to bring these things out of you. You understand? You ever hear the coach sometime? I knew you had it in you, son. Because they see it in you. Sometimes you don't even see it in you. All right? So the education has to be uniquely designed to pull things out of you. Education was never designed to put things in. All right? That was by Carter G. Woodson, who gave us this monumental book, The Miseducation of the Negro. This is where we get where the rubber meets the road. All right? How many people have a purpose in life? See, that's going to be a problem. The two brothers in the back with the bald heads, that's going to be a problem. You understand what I'm saying? Because I remember when y'all had hair. This is going to be a problem. Everyone in this room, his fault, he invited me. Sure. We have to have a purpose in life, especially if we're going to be responsible for other people's lives, right or wrong. Right. What's your purpose in life? Because if you don't have a purpose in life, you need a new job. Am I right or wrong? Okay, then what's your mission statement now for your purpose? We have to, you on it, man. Talk to me.
I mean, my purpose in life is to make sure that people of all races, all sort of different, the color palette of life and the different that we can be emotionally,
psychically, and spiritually. Okay, yeah.
That we all get the support that we need to be able to thrive in our life.
Right.
And not just have to live under the shadow of another person.
Exactly. That's beautiful. Let's give him a round of applause. Everyone, whether he puts that on a t-shirt or a bumper sticker, that's his affirmation, and that's his reaffirmation every single morning before he leaves his house. After thanking the Creator and giving him life, right or wrong. But what's your purpose in life? And then what's your mission statement? He clearly defined his. Everyone has to have one. All right? And that's real. I'm not going to go over the whole concept of the whole idea of the mystical and magical paths of the self in the studio with the rest of the crew. We put the song down and we put it out. 10 years later, the gentleman in the plaid should be like, y'all like your work. Because he connected with it. It's there. We're there. It's something he can resonate with. And then he can build that. He can take the songs and use it in the classroom or in the mentorship program, in the Rites of Passage program, in the JEGNA program, however he wants to do it. All right? That's real. You are a spirit being having a human experience. Women, you're not your bodies. You're in your body. Help me out. Don't send me no nasty text message a little bit later on like I don't agree with that. You're not your bodies. You're in your body. Am I right or wrong? But it seems like we pay more attention to this than to this. You understand what I'm saying? The substance. I'm talking to women. He got his hand up. I'm curious about what he want to ask. Talk to me.
Well, I mean,
unless you're going to speak for the women. I ain't even finished my statement to the women, but go ahead.
I just want to speak from my own experience. On that little portion you have up there, you're a spiritual being having a human experience. So from what I believe, that is very much true. Mm-hmm. I'm a being of energy within this human vessel.
Right.
And I have a path that I'm going to walk down. And in order to walk it down, I have to connect with people who, as you said, have like minds like mine.
Right.
And it's just that, I mean, personally, I'm a Buddhist. I believe that I have an immense mission.
Right.
Me, everyone does, no matter who they are. So that, I don't know what I'm trying to get to, but
no, we hear you though.
Yeah, it's just
this English language is kind of jacked up, but we understand you. Yeah. We feel you more than we hear you. We got you.
That message resonates with me.
Give thanks. Well, that's what this is designed to do, to kind of pull it out of you, to remind you of a few things. All right, so you can reflect. Matter of fact, since we're on that, let's talk about some words that begin with R-E. And I want everyone in the room to give me one. I'm starting out with remember, bringing the members together. Yes, sir, in the back.
Realm.
Huh?
Realm.
That's beautiful. I like that. I never heard that one before. The realm. The realm of possibility. Anyone else? Talk to me. What's yours? Reality. What's yours? Reception. Return. That's beautiful. Caught you off guard. Remix, you said?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yours, ma'am? Reenactment. There's an act, but she want to enactment. Yes. Rejoice. That's beautiful. Yes, ma'am. Research. You searching for something, but now you got to go back. Yes. Did we take you off guard? Don't worry about it. We're going to come back to you. All right. Yes, sir.
Reinvent.
To reinvent. Something was invented, but now we got to go reinvent it. All right. Yeah, we got you, bro. I'm here with you. We're going to come back to you. Yes, sir. You just walked in. You ready for us, though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Revive.
Revive. Woo. You see how it resonated with the people? Yes, ma'am.
Reality.
To reality. Reality. Yes, sir.
Repent.
Woo. Okay. Yes, sir. Agent 007, respect. The whole idea of respect. Specto meaning to look. Re meaning to bind back, to do over. Respect meaning to look again. All right. Brother with the afro with the glasses.
I would say reassert.
Okay, last but not least, we back at you. To relive. That's a beautiful thing. See, we have it in us. We experience these things. We just need to start applying. Because you see, this talk for the last 30 minutes has been very practical. Real stuff that we can use in every single day. Life that we live. All right, let me skip over some things so we can kind of move on, so we can talk about some of this stuff. Mind you, when some people approach the exhibit, they never start on that end. It's painful to start on that end. You'd rather get real happy and start singing Tupac songs and all this other stuff and work your way back. Yeah, and in order to deal with that. But the whole idea of the little me and the great me. Raise your hand if you had an experience with the great me. Yes. Did you have what experience was that? Real in brief, in short.
It's the great me is just the version of me who knows exactly what I need to do in that moment in time. It's the me who needs knows what I need to do right then and there.
Right.
And does it.
Exactly. The higher self. Raise your hand if you had the experience with me. She was waiting on that. What was that experience? What was that experience?
Not being able to
get out of your own way.
Right.
Yeah, I knew you was gonna say that. And that sometimes we get in our own way. Sometimes having to get past the little me in order to experience the great me. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's really that other individual that represent the self that goes before us. And then you show up. You got to correct a whole bunch of things, which is very critical. All right. To go back and fetch it is a symbol of wisdom of learning from the past to build a future. Always having to go back. We call it Sankofa. And standing in the present, moving forward, but always having to go back and fetch it. A picture's worth 1,000 words, but signs and symbols are worth 1,000 pictures. Are you following what I'm saying? You sure? Give one symbol, picture's worth 1,000 words, and signs and symbols are worth 1,000 pictures. What is that thing today that we do? Yes, sir.
Maybe recycle the image of recycle.
Exactly. So the whole idea of we pulling from the earth to make a product, and hopefully now, there's a table out there protesting Coke, plastic. You understand what I'm saying? So there's nothing we can do with plastic. So now we have to go back, and all these words that y'all came up with read before them, we have to now put those things into activation and contact the Coca-Cola company and say, listen, there's a better way to do this. You understand what I'm saying? And the better way we have to do it is going to serve us all, and that's not based on greed. All right, because all of us have to breathe this air, right or wrong? All right, cool. All right, some things that we're not going to talk about. We're definitely not going to talk about this. We'll talk about that at the end of the lecture. Because if you read fast, all right, everyone in this room know what I'm talking about. And it's those situations where you have to fine-tune your discernment. All right? And you just have to know. And that's just real. Because sometimes when we come in the room, we instinctively know. Sometimes we don't even speak. Brothers be coming to the party, be like, see somebody. You understand what I'm saying? Verbal communication. But that volumes in what I just said to the brother. We already know what's up. You understand what I'm saying? And that's real. Culture is tied to everything we do. Culture is everything we think, everything we do. Culture is the vehicle that transports ideas, traditions, norms, values from the old to the new. It instructs and informs the people, which affects their worldview. Culture protects the people from genocide. Culture is the people's primary source of education. Culture defines a relationship to the creator. Culture is your way of life. Can y'all give me 20 more minutes? We got 20 more minutes? All right, cool. Some people are so poor, all they have is money. No, I want you to think about that. Because everything else they're lacking. The things that they're lacking, money can't buy. You follow what I'm saying? Okay. The most potent weapon, is it any way possible we can turn this light out? Thank you. The most potent weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. Steve Biko. All right. Nelson Mandela said you could tell the soul of the people by the way it treats its children. This is one of the artifacts that's not in this one. Omari Khalid puts this on display. It's the book, A Negro, a Beast, or in the Image of God.
Yeah, we still have that in the necessary display and the 101 display.
Oh, okay. And this is back in the 1900s, and this was a book that they used in the basement of the church to educate black children. All right? The Negro, a beast, or in the image of God. The universe doesn't speak in English, it speaks in frequencies. But most of us Most of us, when we get that collect call from the Creator, we don't answer because we think we know better with the small little bit of knowledge and experience and education that we think that we have, and we ignore the Creator's phone call. All right? But trust me, when the Creator decides to mind you and give you that reality check about what you're supposed to be doing with the life that the Creator set you on the mission, all right? That thing that the Creator set you on the mission to be in the now, not later on, in the now, all right? We have to understand something. The Creator will speak your language with your vibrational pitch, all right, in a language that you understand. You know why? Because you're not going to be able to say in the last day that you didn't understand, because the Creator spoke your language. Now, whether you look at the Creator as a man or a woman, it don't matter, because the universe doesn't speak in English. It speaks in frequencies, all right? So you'll never be able to say you didn't understand, all right? They say that my generation is not intelligent enough to read books. I say that they are wrong. It's just that they are not writing about anything of interest that's relevant to our lives. I don't care how damn thick or thin the book is. All right. If you don't put anything in the book that interests me, I'm not reading the book. Plain and simple. Most things in the book are not about me as an individual or my people, so I'm not interested in reading it. All right. And I can easily say that about the 40 Bibles before the King James Version. They've taken a woman out. Who was Adam's first wife? Lilith. But you don't read about Lilith. Now, do you? All right. But if you go to the Apocrypha, the book of Enoch, and all the other forgotten books, stolen books, lost books, the remix books, you understand what I'm saying? They took all of that stuff and ended up giving you King James Version. I'm not interested. All right. But now if you go back and we was to rewrite the history books and talk about the theft of African consciousness, these things be in the book, all right, from a kindergarten level right on up to the time you graduate college. But it's not. They never told you that the black man invented the pencil sharpener, the trolley car, the traffic light, the common dustpan, the broom, carbon filament from a light bulb, automatic elevator doors, and a host of other things that they stole the patents, the theft of African consciousness. But yet we watch cartoons every single day and they give us this, what's this thing I saw in a cartoon? I was watching YouTube, like, oh, the laughing barrel. How many people know what a laughing barrel is? Laughing barrel, they had barrels on the side of the road. There was a time where black people couldn't laugh in the face of white people. All right. We had to have a straight face. So we found something funny and white people were coming toward us. We had to stop, run to the laughing barrel, stick our head in the barrel and laugh and come up with a straight face. Hence the term barrel of laughs. This is where they got the concept from, the barrel of laughs. Black History Month. How? When, according to this slide, we never get a chance to celebrate who and what we are as a people in the 28, sometimes 29 days that we were given in the coldest month of the year, right? The first weekend, which is this weekend coming, is the Super Bowl. Then the second weekend is the Grammys. Third weekend is the All-Star weekend. Fourth weekend is the Oscars. When do you got time to sit down and talk about Black history? Don't say the middle of the week because you're working 2 jobs. At Wally World, right or wrong. That's Walmart. All right? And that's real. Some slides, you don't even need to say anything. You just need to look at it and say, okay, I get your point, Professor Griff. All right? And that's real. So we got to understand. But when we do come together, what happens? Freedom to Twerk Martin Luther King Day weekend party, January 18th. Or Thirsty Thursdays or Wicked Wednesdays. All right? Half price before 12. Then you get pictures of Dr. Martin Luther King balling out of control or blinged out. The Free at Last birthday bash, Dr. Martin Luther King. Come on, this is disrespectful to the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. All right? Ladies free all night on Thirsty Thursdays. This is embarrassing.
Black Fridays.
Boss presents. I can't. I Have a Dream birthday bash, and Dr. Martin Luther King holding up some money. Come on, man, with a half-naked chick behind him. These are real flyers, man. Harriet Tubman said, I freed thousands of slaves. I would have freed thousands more if they only knew they were slaves. This is real. I got to skip over some of this because we got to get to the point. All right? Give me one quote that you remember about Dr. Martin Luther King that you made a part of your life, or people's lives that you're responsible for. It's hard for us to even raise our hands. A, we don't remember the quote. B, we can't take the quote and make it applicable to young people's lives. And that's embarrassing. As a matter of fact, deeper than that, name 2 books that Dr. Martin Luther King wrote. Yeah, I'm going to sip some juice over here while y'all think about that. Help me out, man. I'm just curious. I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot. How about we Google it? How about we go to the Google God? Books that we're going to celebrate the man's birthday. We're going to sing We Shall Overcome. We're going to listen to the I Have a Dream speech, which is played the hell out. There's a sturdy street in every major city named after Dr. Martin Luther King, and we can't even remember 2 books that the man wrote. We can't take one quote that we know we made it applicable to young people's life. Yes, ma'am.
The trumpet of conscience.
The trumpet of conscience.
And
Chaos to community. Come on, talk to me. What that was the second one?
there's Why We Can't Wait.
Why We Can't Wait. How come we haven't read them? The man that we cried crocodile tears for and tried to figure out why the United States government was complicit in the man's assassination, and they admitted it. Deeper than that, where did Dr. Martin Luther King's parents die? I didn't hear what y'all said. Don't speak so loud. In the daggone church. At the organ. On Sunday. But you see, we don't take stock in it. If I ask some of the older people in here that's into Led Zeppelin or James Brown or some of the older R&B groups or whatever, we can tell us about them. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all can give me a Temptation song. You can name me a Lil Wayne song, a Drake song. We know that, right or wrong. But the man that fought, bled, and died and gave his life only to go to Memphis for somebody else's cause. He wasn't a sanitation worker, but he was there to help the people, right or wrong. End up getting shot in the neck, and we don't even know the books the man wrote. I'm not here to chastise y'all, but I'm just saying this is embarrassing. Anyway, so much so for I'm watching TV now and I'm hearing, hold on, not that, but.
A TV weatherman is fighting back after he was fired for something he said on live TV. He says he didn't say it, but to many of those watching, it sure sounded like he uttered an ugly racial slur. Les Trent has the details.
Cold air heading our way.
A TV meteorologist is fighting for his professional life today after he says he was unfairly fired for making a flub on live TV. Jeremy Campbell says he got tongue-tied during the broadcast and uttered what sounded like an offensive racial slur.
Martin Luther King Jr. Park.
Viewers in Rochester, New York were stunned. They took to social media to vent their...
What did he just say? Martin Luther King. Now, I had this discussion with my wife, and I said, listen, my father told me when he was trying to curb my foul little mouth, how could it come out of you if it ain't in you? Where'd you get that from? I applied that to this situation, and I just said to myself, obviously in his 30s, all right, no better, had to get it from someplace. So I did some research, and I went back, and I found this dude. Black and white, obviously when? Give me a time. Black and white. 50s, okay. I promise you it's not me. It's really not me. But anyway, this is where he got it from. He called Dr. Martin Luther King. All right? But my thing is, just in the self, here in 2019, something did not register to say that may not be cool. But you see, now you're comfortable in that space because there's nobody there that's probably there at that station that's black that would check that. Deeper than that, there's probably nobody white at that station that would check that. You don't have to answer to anyone. You good. You got a clear path and it's fine. You follow what I'm saying? Now let's dive deeper into that. Now that would be nothing if 46 minus 1 didn't, that's your president, didn't create an environment. Am I talking too fast? I know I'm from New York, but nah, I'm good. Y'all following me? All right. Yes, it is. On a dog leash. So, but if no one speaks to it, all right, then it goes unchecked, and that's fine now. All right, I'm going to move really quick. All right. The conversation don't have to be an intricate one. It could just be one of just sitting around having the discussion. However, we need to have the discussion, and that's real. All right. But it leads to this. It leads to the whole idea of the manila. It leads to the fact that this was once currency at time, and you could use this to purchase slaves. All right. It leads to something deeper, the auction block, where human beings could sell other human beings to other human beings. All right. Now we're talking about a system now. All right. It can lead to the whole idea, all right, of this whole term called picnic, which some people say the term existed prior to slavery. Stop the blood clot crying. If you got that information, send it to me. My phone number is 678-557-2919. If you need the number again, I'll give you my business card. See, we're not going to talk from a position of emotion now. Call me, talk to me, email me, fax me, put it in a pigeon's hoof, hit him or slap him on the ass, tell him to go to my house and drop it off. However you got to get it to me. All right? The word picnic comes from pick a nigga. All right? And this was a whole celebration of sorts. You can go back to this book without sanctuary, where white people used to take pictures, all right, of mutilated bodies and pieces that they used to bring home. The question was asked to the curator of this 7,000 piece museum. What pieces would you not put on the table? Of course, Hitler's black victims and what happened when the black servicemen went into the camps, and those pieces that were brought back, too embarrassing, too painful. Human body parts from black people that white people have saved in jars. Just some other things that will trigger a certain set of emotions. Are you following me? And that's real. So when you start to see pictures like this, body parts are taken. All right. So we have to understand this particular dynamic and how it works. And then sacred signs and symbols were taken to use for subversive purposes. The swastika has never been a symbol of evil, but it is now, because back then when you really look at the study of Ethiopia, China, Japan, among the Buddhists and other people, and then Tibet and other places, all right, it was a sacred symbol. All right. Remember Jack Johnson, heavyweight champion of the world? Jack Johnson was also an inventor. He invented this thing called the wrench, but it was so racist in America. Guess what they called it? The monkey wrench. So today, I'm sure some of the men in the audience have used the monkey wrench before. And this is real, the monkey wrench. But these are the kind of things that we had to endure. All right. But even at that time, all right, having survived these things, Michael Jackson was an inventor. You know that signature move Michael Jackson used to do when he used to lean forward with his dancers? Well, Michael Jackson invented some shoes that allowed him to do that. Michael Jackson was an inventor. Now, but you see, we don't talk about that. We too busy singing Billie Jean and what's the other songs? And you know what I'm talking about. In the 1950s in Las Vegas hotel completely drained their pool because a black entertainer, Dorothy Dandridge, stuck her toe, her big toe in the pool. They drained the entire pool and put bleach in the pool to sterilize it. Her big toe. This was a ship, cargo ship, that black people used to work on the ship. And they used to throw coins on the second level of the ship so they could be amused. So they used to throw coins down. And as they threw the coins down, they would have young black kids dip their face in this solution that they have in this bucket. And you used to have to come up with the money in your teeth. And this is what they used to come up looking like, just so white people can laugh. All right. Make America great again. Same concept. Keep Dearborn clean. And what did he sell? Like Les Maddox sold this, the club. He sold soap. So basically, he gonna wash the black off of everybody and just make you clean and make you just do right. And so he sold soap. Keep Dearborn clean. And this the kind of stuff that gave birth to sundown towns. Can anybody name me a sundown town? Don't say Portland.
Oregon.
Somebody said Portland. We're in Dearborn. I was born in Roosevelt, Long Island. There's a town called Levittown. You can pull it up on your phone. Levittown, Long Island. Levittown, New York was a sundown town. Right? America great again. I promised I was only going to take 20. Just give me 5 and we good, all right? Is that cool? I know. I keep begging for time. All right, 5 more minutes, we good. All right? Make America great again. Where did that concept originate? And then while we're thinking about that, when was America ever great? I'm just curious. Wait a minute now. You have your cell phone in your hand right now. You can look up dictionary, dictionary.com. The word great don't mean good, right or wrong. Right now, it's the tip level where it's great. Not good, but they're breaking records right now. They're in great proportion. All right, it's cold as hell in Michigan right now, right or wrong, but it's not good. So when was America ever great? Especially if you look at through the lens, all right, of a black person. When was America ever great? But Trump, make America great again. Reagan and Bush in the 80s, let's make America great again. Old concept. And as a matter of fact, it's even older than that. The next time you hear Trump or his clan say America first, this is what they really mean. America first. The Ku Klux Klan preserve racial purity. The invisible empire. Make a mental note. Go to Google and put in the invisible empire. You can pull up the whole documentary film. It's a lot deeper than this. In the few minutes that you're hearing from Professor Griff today. That, see, we can easily say, yeah, Professor Griff, that was the 80s. That was further back. That was with the Klan, but nah, you're not off yet. This was recent.
That confrontation igniting outrage. Teenagers wearing Make America Great Again hats, face to face with a Native American protester, a Vietnam War veteran. And there's new video now raising more questions tonight about what happened right before that moment. It's so disturbing. Here's ABC's Ariel Reshef.
So we can easily write it off and say that was then, this is now, it's a better America. Come on now. 1 second. I got 5 minutes, man.
Watch as a man not only steals a teen's Make America Great Again hat, but also throws a drink at him.
Yeah, that could not have been me. Sitting there taking that, regardless of what I had on. We can dialogue, we can talk, but you're not gonna do that. So I'm gonna just skip over that part.
Watch us.
We're not even gonna do that. And I can't talk about this either. Because a minute ago, you were talking about slavery as a choice, Kanye West, excuse me. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just a whole thing we're gonna skip over. We're not even gonna do that.
Don't skip over.
I got a few more minutes. No, I got to get to my point, man. I really got to get to I gotta get to the point where it comes a time in everyone's life where you're going to have to take a stand, whether as an individual or a group. You understand what I'm saying? It has to start someplace, though. It should start with the dialogue. All right? And understanding of other people's culture, being more, I'm hearing this term diversity being thrown around on campuses everywhere we go. And then when we go right downstairs, there's a separate room for these people, separate room for that organization, separate one, and they never come together to have a talk, to have dialogue. They're not in this room right now. Well, there's a couple. So we have to understand that particular dynamics, but 1968. Okay, I was born in 60, so I was 8 years in already. How many other people? Don't be ashamed. Don't worry about it. What happened in 1960? Name some other things that happened in 68. Okay, it's a beautiful thing. We remember. All right, go ahead, talk to me. Muhammad Ali picked his fro out. All right, the afro was born. James Brown, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. What else went down? The Vietnam War. What else was happening? There's a few things happening in the 60s, 68. All right. Muhammad before that in 67. All right. Which gave birth to the idea of what Colin Kaepernick is doing today. We can draw a straight line from John Carlos and Tommy Smith, Muhammad Ali, to Colin Kaepernick. Using your platform to protest. All right. I'm going through this real quick. No colored people allowed is it on the table? Nope, they didn't even put it on the table. But it's one of those monumental pieces that I think, wherever they did with my bag, it's one of those pieces that's a staple mark. It's normally a staple mark in the museum if they would have put it out. I don't know why they didn't. Colored waiting room. All right, the colored waiting room. Once upon a time, you know, this whole idea that I still see today, and my wife would tell you, man, just pull around and order the food. I'm like, no, either we park and go in or we not eating. I know, say, Dad, Griff, you brutal. I'm not getting my food through no damn window. The drive-through window. I mean, that's a direct line from how they used to treat us back in the day. They threw our food out the back door, and Lord knows what they did to it before we got it. Am I right or wrong? Which gave birth to the drive-through window. You understand what I'm saying? You had to go around to the back of the restaurant through a window for somebody to hand you your food. Stop that. Not doing it. Not at all. All right? The whipping post. You familiar with this? You a slave, you got out of line. They would call all the other slaves and all the other people in the town there to watch the slave get whipped. And who would whip the slave? The cracker. That was his official title. It was the cracker. All right? And you got up and you acted out and got out of line and you broke the laws while you was away from your slave master. All right? Other white people could punish you. It's called the Casual Killing Act. And the first question they would ask you is, who's your master, boy? And you would have to run down the street and tell them who your master was, or they would cut off an arm or a hand or whatever. Or they branded you, or you wore this, a tag. And they read the tag and they knew who you belonged to. You were property. You had no control over your own body. All right? These are the kind of things that are in the museum, in the exhibit today. Let's move real quick. This is Emmett Till. We can draw a direct line from Emmett Till. Yes.
The white lady who accused him of trying to get at her back then or whatever, said, I was reading something that said that she admitted to lying about it.
Yeah, she admitted lying. Exactly. But this is what Emmett Till used to look like, and this is what he looked like afterward. Not there, here, right here. It doesn't stop. We can draw a direct correlation from Emmett Till right to Trayvon Martin. All right, so I'm hanging out with some white guys I know. They call me all the time to go to the gun range, let me know the new weapon that's out. They're excited about it. You know how some white guys get about their guns. It's like, yo, Griff, you gotta check this out, dude. I'm like, all right, well, where we meeting now? We're gonna go to the gun show. Way in the back of the gun show is the Trayvon Martin targets. I'm like, damn. Okay. With Skittles and Arizona iced tea in hand. See, but if you think that's disturbing, the Miami Police Department was using real live subjects on their firing targets that they were using at the gun range. People still alive have been arrested for a minor traffic ticket. I know I only got a few minutes. So you say that was then and this is now? This is 3 years ago. Young girl with a rope around her neck tried to lynch her. Her white friends got together and did this to her. See, we can easily roll back to the black and white films that you might want to catch on YouTube, and you might want to say, okay, yeah, I can see how it's going down. Nope. You ain't got to wait long. Watch Eyewitness News tonight. Channels, what's the major stations here? Channel 2? Eyewitness, the Eyewitness lying teams. I'm almost at the end. The before and after. All right? Same as the dipping cream. Nothing different. And if you can really look, the black woman here, and then you wash yourself with Dove soap, and you become so clean, you turn yourself white. All right? Dove, if you look closer, all right? Summer glow plus soft shimmer. Nourishing lotion from normal to dark skin. Yeah, let's process that. What's normal?
There is no normal.
Tell Dove that. All right? We're not going to talk about that. But yet we have Black China over in Nigeria, Ghana, and other places selling a whitening cream. Is this not the epitome of self-hatred? You black from America, but you in Africa selling Africans a skin lightening cream. I'm confused. Help me out, y'all. Fair and lovely. Fair. We grew up, especially during my time, we grew up and light-skinned people were called fair-skinned people. And it's on the subconscious level, it tends to denote that fair meaning you're kind of pliant, you're safe, you're just, you're fair in your dealings. You understand what I'm saying? As long as you were fair. Are you following what I'm saying? So that meant if you were light-skinned and you were fair, and the opposite would be what?
Unfair.
Dark-skinned and unfair, right or wrong? Come on, help me out. We're talking a little bit of psychology today, that's all. Psychology is not the study of the mind. Psychology is the study of the soul. Help me out. All right? Black is dirty, white is pure, according to Dove. This is Dove's commercials back in the day, ads back in the day. So a black child gets in a tub and uses Dove and comes out white. What is that saying? That speak to a tinge of genocide? All right? Almost like the book 10 Little Niggas. Have you ever read the book? Put it in your mental Rolodex. Google it real quick so you could have it in your phone. All right?
What year was this, by the way?
1783. But 1783 to what? 2 years ago? This is 2 years ago. 2017. Dove with the racist soap creates social media furor. All right? Dove model says advert isn't racist. Stop that. Vanilla, artificially flavored, and watermelon? See, but this is not designed for you with your well-developed intellectual minds and spirit. This is aimed at your children. Because where is the candy at Wally World and at Target's? That's Targets. It's on the children's level, right or wrong. You will never see it, Mom. You hold a little Sandy's hand and you walking in, all right? And she's catching all the candy, all the ads, making a mental note of all of them, all right? Thanks, Black China. Matter of fact, this is before Black China. All right? Y'all know the baseball player, right? I think this is before Black China. This is Nicki Minaj. Before Black China. The psychology of self-hatred is what we're talking about right now. And we need to understand the dynamic. All right. Couple of more slides and then we're done, I promise. Tell me what y'all see. Let's look into this instead of at it, and y'all tell me what y'all see. Huh? That's one thing, yeah, but deeper than that, yes.
Everyone except for the African-American character and the more, I would honestly, the truer term would be the butch lesbian character, have their fists.
How did you determine all of that? I didn't see that, but go on. I'm listening.
No, her character, the one with the shorter haircut in the movie.
Oh, her? I didn't see the movie, but I'm just saying.
She is portrayed as more of like a butch lesbian character, and she's, the African-American subway worker. They don't have their fists raised, but the two standard white women, they have their fists raised.
Okay. So nothing, the fact that their titles has nothing to do with it? Okay, I'm just curious. Can you spot the difference? Their white racist programmings that implies white superiority are all around us in the news, textbooks, and even within many movies we watch. Because most of us do not notice it, it allows it to seep into our subconscious minds. Right?
Yeah, that was the Ghostbusters. Okay.
But this is not on a subconscious level. This is in your face. I'm not sure about the women's bathroom, but do y'all have these dispensers?
Yeah. Well,
okay. Well, my thing is they're going to have a sensor on them to detect melanin. And if it doesn't detect a high concentration of melanin, you get the soap. And if it does, no soap for you. So it's almost like the situation that I used to have to do with my ex-wife because she was a beautiful, beautiful black woman. I used to kind of have her hail the cab because they weren't stopping for black men in New York City. Pretty as she was, she used to go out there and thank you, sir. I'm going to really appreciate that. That's this situation with the soap. If the sensor's going to detect melanin. If you have a high concentration of melanin, you will not have your hands clean that day. This was what, 2017, the coolest monkey in the jungle. If you can't see racism in the HMN's coolest monkey in the hoodie, you're probably sitting in a position of privilege. And then they made it worse. All right? Mangrove jungle, survival expert. Back to the Tarzan Jane syndrome, right? So now we supposedly have been in the jungle all this damn time, born, raised, lived there, mastered it. Now here comes white Tarzan now, and now he's the survival expert now. I'm almost done. I promise I'm only going to take 2 more minutes. Costco's, all right? His granddad bought this for his granddaughter, the Cuddle With Me doll. But closer inspection, it's a little monkey, all right? Diaper fits both baby and monkey. Monkey has its own bottle too. What is it saying now to little Shaliqua? Oprah experienced it in Australia. Just recently, what, 3 weeks ago in New York City? In the storefront at Prada. Prada just pulled a bonehead blunder that a lot of people are calling racist. The high-end Manhattan shop put this purse in its window with Sambo-like doll attached. People went nuts on social media. All right? And this was their advertisement in New York City. Blackface. Doll hanging off a $300 purse. It gets deeper. I don't know how much deeper. Maya and the Bee pulled off the air simply because what are the techniques that are used by the media to dumb down and influence the youth? All they do is they kind of hide it and they put it on a subconscious level, knowing that mom and dad are hard at work and the little ones are watching cartoons. They just hide it. You see the phallic symbol here? But what it does, it wedges itself in the subconscious mind of young people. Then something else triggers it now. All right? All right, anyway, I think we at the end. Blessed are those that struggle. Oppression is worse than the grave. It is better to live and die for a noble cause than to live and die a slave. Asante Sana, thank you all very much for giving me this hour or two. Thank you all. Really appreciate that. Thank you all. All right. Omar, you want to kind of close it out?
And just feel free as you get up, if you want to take another walk around, if you have a chance to do that, feel free to walk around the exhibit. I'll be here if you have any questions.
All right, on the people on the Serious Minds YouTube thing, I really appreciate y'all. This is what I do every single day while I'm out on the road. Thank y'all very much. I know 16 is not on here, but thank everyone for the donations. Really appreciate y'all. All right, it's Professor Griff. I gotta go. All right, peace.